So if you're watching the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, you'll know that there's a new Yakuza game coming out sooner than we thought. But it isn't a brand new entry, rather it's a heavily modified version of a beloved game in the series already, Yakuza Zero. Just as we received Kiwami on the Switch, a version of Yakuza Zero will be released on Nintendo Switch 2. While there wasn't a lot of information presented during the actual Direct, there was a second video released on the official Sega channel that goes a little more in depth on the game, so there's a little bit that we could discuss as of right now. First off, during the presentation, they stated that there will be additional cutscenes added to the game to provide a more cinematic and detailed look at the experiences the characters face in the game. There seems to be completely new cutscenes for areas where there originally were only text-based cutscenes, such as this one with Kuze and Kiryu. There may be a chance we could also get cutscenes that go a little more in depth in the story, like maybe scenes finally showing Nishiki's sister in the game, since the only time we ever get to see those are usually outside of the video games themselves. But we don't know for sure yet. Regardless of which, it would be pretty wait a minute, hold on a second actually. Does this mean that this is technically Yakuza Kiwami 0? Since we're getting new cutscenes just as we did with Nishiki cutscenes in Kiwami? Huh, who would have thought? Anyway, I'm interested in seeing how they add more to the story with these cutscenes. Next, the mode that probably got everyone's attention, this multiplayer mode. Now I don't know if this mode is multiplayer exclusive or if it can be played solo as well, or if it can at least be played with some AI allies. But in this mode, as shown in the trailer, the player seems to be on a team of sorts, going up against several enemies, one of them including Nishiki. They are also on a team of 4 players total. The official name for the mode is Red Light Raid, and based on what's shown, you go through either a series of boss battles or long battles by the looks of it. Kind of like the climax battles, however they can now be done with other characters. So we can now officially play as boss characters against other boss characters, similar to Gaiden's Coliseum. We see a few random areas in the game where battles are taking place, so it looks like it won't just be story-specific battles. The players also have a mini heat meter under their health bar, showing that they can either do heat actions or go into an extreme heat mode of sorts, as we can see with this little prompt right here. Overall, this mode looks pretty fun. I don't know if I ever mentioned this in a video before, or in a stream chat or anything, but I always love the idea of a multiplayer Yakuza game. You know, being able to play with other people online or with friends just sounds like an absolutely fun time. Not for me though, because, well, I don't have any friends that like Yakuza, so yeah, it's pretty lonely. But could you just imagine going through the final long battle in Zero with all the homies, just destroying every enemy you see with your buddies, having some crazy music syncs and whatnot? Because, let's be honest, some of these allies are just pure garbage. This could be a great addition if they do get this right. Let's just hope there's no stuttering or lag of any sorts when playing online. There will also be an English dub of the game, as you can hear in the background of the English video, as well as it being listed on Sega's official website, unlike the Switch version of Kiwami.
Now featuring. I had to learn that one the hard way. Guess I owe you, huh?
While some may not like the addition, I think it's great, as it would be a good way to open up the game to a lot more people who aren't really fans of Japanese dubs and media. But it does make me question, who will voice Nishiki in English? I'm interested in seeing who they select for him, because I'm sure most of the community agrees that there's only one real answer here. One smaller thing, this actually may be a perfect time to include the Walkman. You know, this little device that was exclusive to the Japanese PS3 version. I mean, they already technically did it with Infinite Wealth and Pirate Yakuza, so I don't see why they can't do it again. The licensed tracks of course would have to be omitted from it, although if you listen to the music that's in the background of the trailer, the track that plays is Bubble, the one that was used for the Japanese intro, which was also a licensed track. So maybe they can bring back other licensed tracks if they do that, but I'm not sure. One question I do genuinely have though, is if this game will be a Switch exclusive. There's no direct mention of this, however all of the ads shown so far usually show a Switch 2 logo on it. For someone like me who's going to be getting a Switch 2, this wouldn't be a problem. But for the sake of this series, I really hope they do not make this a Switch exclusive. This would alienate a large portion of fans on other consoles, and it just doesn't really make sense for them to put all of this extra work into adding all this content, only for its release on a console with possibly the least amount of Yakuza players on it. Overall, this looks fun, and I'm glad it's not just some basic port to the Switch like Kiwami was. This gives seasoned players who've already beaten this game several times a reason to come back, and for more people to have a reason to pick up this game, especially now that it's on the Switch. There may be more news on this game as we get closer to the release date, so hopefully there's some mention of it releasing on other consoles before that. Anyways, just wanted to talk about this real quick after I saw it on the Direct, especially after seeing that multiplayer mode. So as always, take care, and I'll see you guys later.